Man, what a game at Selhurst Park between Crystal Palace and Everton. The game ended 2-2, chances galore for both sides, and man, am I so happy that I decided to watch that game as opposed to, Burnley, Aston Villa, or Nottingham Forest versus Newcastle. This was definitely the best game. I'm so glad I chose this game, man. But yeah, chances galore for both sides. Both sides could have won it, but yeah, it ended 2-2, entertaining game. Both sides played good football. That's what the Premier League is all about, you know what I'm saying? That's what we want to see. Them type of games is what we want to see, man. But yeah, the game started off and Everton, the away side, they came out the better side. Obviously, they came into this, they needed a win to continue their hopes for getting into Europe, and they came out a good side, you know what I'm saying? They were playing nice little combinations on the edge of the box. Early doors, they were getting their best players on the ball, and Jai was getting on the ball. Gardner was getting on the ball. Dewsbury-Hall was getting on the ball. These guys were playing nice combinations. And Jai, we all know Iliman Ndiaye, he just looked so silky on the ball, especially in that first half. So many little skills, just pulling the strings for Everton, you know what I'm saying? I remember at the end of the half even, he just a little nutmeg on one of the Crystal Palace players, and I was like, yeah, this guy is a serious player, man. But yeah, Everton, they definitely started the better side. I remember early on, Beto had a chance where he played it out to the right winger role. He played it back into Beto, but Beto couldn't get his first touch correct. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't get that first touch correct, and it led to a corner. But you could see he was frustrated. You know what I'm saying? You could see he was frustrated. He was like, he knew he should have taken a better touch. However, from that corner came the breakthrough. Everton, fast start, and they got what they deserved. They got their goal. The ball comes in from Dewsbury-Hall. It's a flick on at the near post. I don't remember who flicked it on, but Tarkowski's there all alone at the back post to just stick it in. Little volley, and it's 1-0 Everton. They're up. They're probably the team that needed this win the most, but yeah, they're up, and yeah, their hopes for Europe, their hopes for that chase of Europe is looking good. But to be fair, after that goal, Crystal Palace, they did respond. They did have a 10-minute flurry where they did respond. Mostly, it was from, balls into the box. I remember Richards had a very good chance. He had two good chances, actually. Two good chances. Brennan Johnson was putting good balls into the box. Adam Wharton had a strike, had a little half volley on the edge of the box, went over. But Crystal Palace had a little flurry, you know what I'm saying? They did have a little flurry. They were playing nice stuff, but then, the game then was going back and forth. I remember Gardner, he pressed Kamada, had a nice little run, showed great pace down the line. I didn't know that James Gardner had that sort of pace. But yeah, when he was driving down that left wing, he drove down that left wing, played the ball across, but it was just a little bit too heavy. Just a little bit too heavy for, I think it was Strand Larsen, or it was either Sarr or Strand Larsen. Can't really remember, but he played a little Travella into the box, and it was just a little bit heavy, you understand? Just a little bit heavy. But yeah, Everton had chances in that first half. Irabunum played a nice little 1-2 with, I think it was Dewsbury-Hall, but he absolutely sliced it. That one just went way wide. That one just almost went for a throw-in, you understand? That almost went for a throw-in. But Crystal Palace, like I said, the game was back and forth. They had their counter-attacks, and they got their equaliser. Ismaila Sarr drives with the ball. He plays it into Munoz. Munoz just slides it back to Sarr. Sarr has a strike. It's quite a weak effort, to be fair. It comes off Tarkowski, but he gets a second bite at the cherry. And yeah, left foot, and he absolutely just strikes it. You know what I'm saying? He absolutely just strikes it. Pickford, no chance, and it's 1-1. And that was Sarr's 20th goal of the season in all competitions. I've been seeing that, in the Conference League, he's been going crazy. Anytime I watch Palace in the Conference League, or I watch their highlights, he's scoring every time. Every time it's Ismaila Sarr. So he's been a talismanic figure for them, especially in that Conference League run. And he bags the equaliser here against Everton. There were so many nearly moments for each side in this game. Everton in particular. I remember there was one time where Crystal Palace tried to take a quick free kick with Adam Wharton. His touch was just a bit heavy. He tries to slide in, but Dewsbury-Hall, he gets onto it, plays the 1-2 with Iliman Ndiaye. But then Dewsbury-Hall's first touch just takes it away from him, and Everton were in. You know what I'm saying? Everton were in. Just another nearly moment for Everton, and then again there was another time where Iliman Ndiaye header cleared off the line by Ismaila Sarr. So the game was just going back and forth. After that, I remember Tyreek Mitchell had a chance down that left side. He found himself with a bit of a space, struck it well, but Pickford saves, you know what I'm saying, a goalkeeper of Pickford's quality, England #1, you expect him to save that. But yeah, that was pretty much the first half. Going into the break, it was 1-1, but thoroughly entertaining. You know, Njai put on their clinic. You know, Dewsbury Hall was playing very well. Gardner as well. Everton were playing nice stuff. Crystal Palace was starting to grow into the game after the Sarr goal. But yeah, it ended 1-1 in that first half. Then we get into the second half, and straight away, Everton go down and they get a goal. Tarkowski plays a nice ball into Beto, and Beto showed great composure here. Just a great composure. I'm pretty sure he took 2 touches before he ultimately struck it through Pickford's legs. Just 1, 2 showed great composure just to create that half yard from the defender, and he just slips it through Pickford's legs to make it 2-1. And just like that, Everton are back in front. But like I said, this game was back and forth, so both teams had chances. I remember Lacroix, he had a chance, he had a header, Pickford saved it. Pickford absolutely just, from his hands, he absolutely just launches it out to Dewsbury Hall. Dewsbury Hall pretty much has a 1v1, but he sort of hesitates. He does have pressure from a Crystal Palace defender, but you think that, could he have taken it, you know, on sooner, especially because Dean Henderson sort of hesitated to go out to Dewsbury Hall, you know what I'm saying? So Dean Henderson, he kind of goes, but then he decides to stay back. Dewsbury Hall, he's in, he just decided, took a bit too many touches, you know what I'm saying? I think he was trying to work an angle, couldn't really get the perfect angle, but I feel like in that position, he just has to strike it, and that's another chance that went begging for Everton. Could have made it 3-1 there easily. But then, yeah, Crystal Palace responded, they came back. After that, they were pretty much the dominant side. Lots of chances, you know, there were 2 penalty appeals for Crystal Palace. Sarr, you know, Tarkowski came through the back of Ismaila Sarr. I don't think that was a pen. Then there was the Kamada one. I don't think that was a pen either. But Crystal Palace were generating really good chances. I'm pretty sure Sarr had a few himself, you know what I'm saying? There was one where the header comes back across. No, Munoz heads it back across to Sarr. Sarr, all alone, you know what I'm saying? Sarr is all alone. All he has to do is just redirect it, in either corner, and it's a goal. He headers it, but it's straight into the arms of Pickford, you know what I'm saying? Big chance for Crystal Palace. But yeah, Crystal Palace pressing on. They make the change though. They bring on JP Mateta for Strand Larsen, and Mateta, when he came on, you could see the difference. You could see the physicality. He was giving Tarkowski, Michael Keane, he was giving them, you know, something different to think about, just with that physicality, just with that ability to hold up the ball, bring other people into play, something that Strand Larsen wasn't really doing himself, you know what I'm saying? And ultimately, that sub paid off because Mitchell gets it down the left, he plays a low cross into the box, Mateta sort of finds himself some space, gets away from his defender, sort of goes into the 6-yard box, pulls out, left foot, and he hits it on the roof of the net, you know what I'm saying, to make it 2-2, you know what I'm saying? And it was fully deserved from Palace because they were putting on pressure in that they were putting on serious pressure in that second half. Also as well, Adam Wharton hit the post. Adam Wharton hit the post as well. An absolute rocket from Wharton on his weaker foot as well. Took a lovely touch, almost like the touch Gravenberch had against Chelsea, but instead of, you know, curling it into that top right corner, Wharton went for power and struck it near post, and it just clipped on the outside of the post. But Crystal Palace were putting on serious pressure. They were definitely the team on top in that second half for a large majority of it. Having said that though, Everton were not finished there. Everton still had some moments in the game, some very exciting moments. The first one comes from Dewsbury Hall again. It feels like he was involved in everything in this game. Little mix up at the back from Crystal Palace. I don't know what happened, but Dewsbury Hall finds himself with the ball. He presses, I think it's Richards, he presses Richards, comes away with the ball. He's 1v1 against Pickford. Pickford's already down on the ground. The goal is gaping, the goal is glaring. You're thinking, surely Dewsbury Hall on the left foot, he's got to bury this, and he hits the post, and it's like, damn. Luckily for him, his blushes were spared because he was offside. But oh my days, what a chance for Dewsbury Hall. He has to be tucking that away. A player of his standard, he knows he should be tucking it away. Then Tyreek George off the bench. He went on a nice run. He went past 2 players, I think, and he makes the right decision. Very good decision making from Tyreek George there. Plays it into Iliman Ndiaye. And Iliman Ndiaye, you're thinking, yo, you think about the 2 chances he missed against Manchester City. You think about the quality he does have. You're thinking, all right, cool. Njai, just roll this into the far post. You can see it. I'm expecting a goal. But then he just lifts it too much. He lifts it into the center of the goal. He gives Dean Henderson a chance, and Dean Henderson sort of just tips it over the bar. But Iliman Ndiaye, he has to be doing by either corner there and hit it nice and low. But he went straight. The shot went very, very central, very, very high. And he just gave Dean Henderson a chance just to tip it over the post, you know what I'm saying? Just gave him a chance, and he should be burying that, you know what I'm saying? He should be burying that, just like he should have buried his 2 chances against Manchester City. But after that, Crystal Palace had one more chance. Kamala does well. He picks the ball up in midfield, plays a nice little through ball to Mateta. Mateta absolutely just shrugs off Tarkowski. Like I was saying, when Mateta came on, he was giving them Everton centre backs problems. You know, Strand Larsen didn't really cause a threat, but when Mateta came on, you could see the difference. You know what I'm saying? The ball gets played into Mateta, slide rule through ball. He just shrugs off Tarkowski easily, just saying, get off me. Just manhandles him. Shrugs off Tarkowski, and now it's on his left foot. You're thinking, alright, cool, can he slide it through the keeper's legs? Can he slide it into that near post? But he just slices it. He slices it. It hits the outside. It hits the outside of the net, and it's just like, Mateta, you know, Mateta on another day, you know he can do better than that. But yeah, after that chance, that was the full-time whistle. That was the game, 2-2. I feel like this game for Everton, they had to win if they wanted to, you know, have a chance to qualify for Europe. I think that sort of ends their European dreams now, which is very disappointing. They will feel very hard done by. They came out into this game with a fire in their belly, you know what I'm saying? I know that they were probably still disappointed from that Man City draw where they were 3-1 up, let a 3-1 lead slip, ended up drawing the game. And they came out with intent this game, you know. Like I said, Gardner, Dewsbury Hall, Njai, Irabunum, they showed intent. They came out, they showed intent. They got their goal. Crystal Palace responded, but then Beto early in the second half, and then Mateta comes off the bench. But yeah, for Crystal Palace, they'll take it as a good result. You know, their eyes are firmly placed on their minds firmly placed on that Conference League final. So at the end of the day, they're just, you know, these games don't really matter. You know, their mind is sort of halfway in that Conference League. As long as they play good football, give the fans what they want, entertaining football, they're pretty much staying in the Premier League. They're safe. There's no chance of them, you know, getting relegated. They're pretty much safe. They're just thinking, yo, these games for Palace now is just a case of, yo, let's build momentum, let's play well, build some confidence ahead of that final. For Everton, they needed this one to, you know, qualify if they wanted to have a chance to qualify for Europe. But I feel like, you know, two draws back to back, as well as that loss against West Ham a few weeks ago, I feel like that sort of ended their European hopes. But nah, entertaining game, man, exciting draw, man. Like, that was quality. That type of game is what we need to see more from, like, the big 6 sides. You know, the fixtures get hyped up on Sky Sports. You know, the Chelsea versus Liverpool's, the Arsenal versus Chelsea, the Man City, Man United. This is what we need to see. The North London derbies. That's the sort of game we want to see in the Prem, man. Back and forth football. That's actually a big 6 game, man. A lot of players on that pitch could be snapped up by bigger clubs. A lot of quality on that pitch. Adam Morton, Iliman Ndiaye. Obviously, Dewsbury Hall did play for Chelsea, so we know he's got quality. Tyreek George did play for a bigger club in Chelsea. We know he's got quality as well. So Mateta, he was looking to go AC Milan. So there was a lot of quality on the pitch. So we shouldn't really be surprised that we got a game as good as that. But yeah, man. Crystal Palace 2, Everton 2. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I'm so happy at that. That was the 2 p.m. game that I decided to watch today.